In most cases, the circumstances of people living on the edge mean that they cannot easily take part in a process like ours. If they're working, and roughly 50% of the people claiming universal credit in South Lakes are also working, because the hours they can work and the rates of pay available just don't add up. They often work changing shifts or unpredictable on-demand 0 hours contracts. If they aren't working, it's because of their mental or physical health or caring responsibilities or so many other barriers. Add to that the stigma and fear that means people are scared to let people know how much they're struggling, and you can see why we are so grateful to those who have given up their time and energy to take part. Finally, some of the people who couldn't join the Commission or be here today really wanted to share a little of their stories on film. And here they are.
Nobody really recognised the symptoms,
Right.
and he didn't get a diagnosis till he was 23. We now know it's autism, but we didn't then. He has a very rare type of autism called PDA, which is pathological demand avoidance. It's just taken forever. It's taken 9 months just to get from the point where they awarded him the care to the point where we could start getting him some care. But in all that time, he's had nobody supporting him other than us. So we go between full-time work, being carers for our son, trying to go through a system, filling out forms and doing meetings with people that there's no way our son could actually go through this system on his own. And one of the forms took me about a month and a half to fill out. It was like 40 odd pages, and all of the evidence that we had to put in with it as well. It took me a month and a half to fill this form out. We live hand to mouth every month. Like I say, we get about halfway through the month and we can't even put petrol in our cars. We haven't at the moment until I get paid at the end of the month. We've got hardly anything in the fridge. Debt keeps escalating, and we just literally exist from one month to the next, and there is nothing left.
I tried to get help because I wasn't feeling 100% before I moved to Grange. I didn't feel right. I went to the doctors and they said to me, "Oh, you're not ill enough, I can't help you." Mm. And that made me spiral into self-doubt. Yeah. I was hearing all sorts of stuff. I was having hallucinations, and I wasn't well enough, and I ended up trying to end my own life. Yeah. And it was only then that I got help. Yeah. I went to the doctors before that. I didn't want that to happen. No. But there was
you didn't succeed.
There was no help for that little bit.
Norm ended up in hospital. I said, "Look, I'll stay for a week or so to look after you." It's now 5 years later. He's had sepsis twice. Right. And he's a dear friend, and sometimes I just wish that I wish that I was doing what it was I was doing before all this happened. Because Norm went down another time, or it might have been around about the same time. So it was a hernia, and I've managed to heal that myself.
Got a hernia lifting Norm?
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, because it's happened more than once. Right. And then when the back did go, I phoned them up and they said, "Yeah, you need to come in and re-sign your papers." And I said, "I can't actually move." I said, I said, "My legs have gone." I said, "I am in excruciating pain." And I phoned up in the afternoon and they went, "Honestly, it took 3 days. I cannot move." Yeah. I said, I'm now going to have to start drinking whiskey and taking aspirin or whatever whatever I could get my hands on, to stop the pain. And when the ambulance did finally turn up, they said, "You're pissed out of your head." And I said, "Well, yeah." I said, "I know I am." I said, "But they said, well, we can't take you in the ambulance until you're sober." And I said, and they watched me. They said, "Can you walk up and down the corridor?" And I said, "No, I can't." I said, "I just can't." I said, "I've got to crawl everywhere." I said, "This is all disconnected." And it was like a fucking nightmare. It really was.
I grew up in a one-parent family. When my dad left home, I was 3 and a half. So from being 14, I sort of brought myself up, which was tough. I never blamed my mother for the neglect, because it was neglect when I was 14. That's when I needed my mother. I didn't have my dad, so I needed my mother. And she had 3 jobs. She worked as a school cleaner first thing on the morning, and she used to take me with her. And then she'd work in a factory from 8 o'clock until 5. And then on an evening, she works in the local pub. And she used to take me in there, and I used to sit in the back room where the landlord and landlady lived. And she worked really, really hard, did my mum, to keep us all together. And so yeah, it was tough, and but it makes you stronger. I think it makes you a stronger person. And I always wanted for my son, you know, when I had my son, and you know, there's no way I would ever want him to go through what I went through.
Started falling apart really, my life, since I split up with my husband, and all the kids went and then moved house. Yeah, the main thing was Peter. Peter, we had no ID for him, no passport, no birth certificate, and you need money to get those, don't you? It was mainly because I really couldn't survive, because I couldn't get no money for Peter.
So he lost his benefits when he left college, and that left you with no money coming
coming in for him at all. I.e. universal credit.
Universal credit. Yeah. But that meant between you $235 a month. Yeah. Is that right? Gosh. Right.
And we was living in the flat and trying to keep the flat off £235 a month for the two of us.
Yeah.
And electric was £110. I used to come here so there was food in the fridge at home for him. Yeah. Really, really saved me that. I would have been in a lot of debt, you know, trying to buy more food. Yeah. And then I would have been in debt in other areas. Yeah. You know, my rent, anything. Do you know what? They're like a family. Yeah. Absolutely. They've looked after me so much, those two. Yeah, yeah. Even helped me get into hospital. Yeah. You know, for my appointment. Well, if I was going to do it by train, it'd be an all-round journey of about 6-7 hours.
Well, how did you start getting more money in than that?
It just went up, and then unfortunately I ended up with COPD and a very bad knee where I got extra money.
Yeah.
It's limited capability for work-related activity. So that's the only way I could get a little bit more help and extra money, really. But I'd feel weird if I didn't come here on at least a couple of times a week.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
I'm really would. They're like a little family to me. And that Claire and Andrea, an absolute gems.
Your bills just go up and up and up, don't they? You know, and they just get harder and harder to pay. And you have to, it's very hard to juggle your money around and be able to pay everything up that needs to be paid at the time that it needs to be paid. You know, you have to sacrifice one bill from another, or you have to sacrifice food up for your heating, or your heating for your food, or, you know, it's not easy, but it also makes it a lot harder if you wanted to go back to work, things like that. You know, it makes it pretty much impossible to go back to work, because, you know, you're talking four weeks without paying your rent, or, you know, so you're going to constantly be getting in arrears no matter what you do, however you do it. Filling out loads of application forms and everything else, and having to sort all that out. Well, it doesn't help. It doesn't help your depression or anything like that, or just general life things. It doesn't help at all. You know, it doesn't lift you up in any way whatsoever. So it makes life a lot harder and a lot more challenging.
It's very much the kind of foot in the door with our community. And as we say, food, people, community. And then just keeping that connection, that kind of connection of love and understanding. And I'm going to use that word because it is love. It's love in action. You know, love it's very easy to say, I love you. Let's see some evidence of that.
It is a place of love, you know, and you don't feel... and it is...
Stop it.
You do, personally speaking, feel accepted. I don't feel like I'm judged, or I can't be myself, you know. Absolutely. So I'm crying now.
You are, I know.
I mean, when I first come here, all those years ago, to what it is now, this place has just come on leaps and bounds, and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And if I didn't have this place, I don't know where I would be. It's given me personally a sense of hope